Hello everybody and welcome back to the vault. I'm back with more strange antiquities. You guys, I'm binging all of this again. Because I just do this. Do I have something made of scales? I don't think so. Helena, I can never get any peace in my house. When am I to find time to do my writing? I've tried beeswax, but that makes my ears sore, and besides I can still hear the shouting and banging at all hours. I heard you might be able to help me. Leaves on the sign are similar to leaves in sketch paper. Close inspection reveals it does indeed muffle sounds. Didn't notice that. Grace. Share the design of a shadow catcher. Barton Potter. The guy that gouged out his own eye. Must be the Thatcher Armitage's apprentice. I bet he's a hard man to work under. He's helped me out more than once in the past, though. Speaking of my past, my heart's been aching again lately. Can't be a good sign. I'm willing to make it a fair trade. I know, stone if you have one. Blue, gold. Upside down triangle. doing some reading. See what you make of this. Umbra. These items cause mental fog, a withering of intellect and thought. They are slow to work, requiring several hours to have any effect. Through prolonged use, they can cause the whites of the eyes to turn black, subject to become deeply disoriented. They produce a nocturne field. The fisherman they found yesterday had been up a white beck, so I'm going to see if I can find anything out there. Here I go again, stick my nose into trouble because I don't seem to be able to listen to that part of me that says go put the kettle on and let someone else deal with it for a change. It's bloody-minded against Stefano that fought up with, but there isn't anyone else. But here we are, here I am. They do it all wrong anyway. Umbra. Do I have anything that could possibly be? No, we already solved that one. I've been wearing a pendant that I found in the library, and it does something to me. It gives me an appetite for reading that I cannot control. I was locked in the library for 3 days without eating or sleeping before I managed to take the pendant off and escape. It is rather pretty, though. Someone told me I need a cosmic purifier and that this is the place to get one. Here, that's the vinegar. Valet. Holes in the valet are roughly equal size of spacing. They are used by adventurers to hold them. Help them find their way. Curious pulse can be felt. Oh. Well, that's interesting to note. A valet, because this thing actually vibrates. Simone Green. I've been working on something that you might find interesting. Did you know that nobody knows who built Strange Antiquities? Very old. Perhaps the oldest building under me, according to some accounts. Even Eli doesn't know all of its secrets. I've been decoding a journal that he found. It's slow work, but I made a bit of breakthrough. We discovered the plinths below the counter. I've learned that they can be used to access the shop's hidden depths. And this journal holds some of the keys. Here's something I discovered late last night. See what you make of it. Alcove key. Horn shackle, evil cat, and then a moon something. Writing's dense and spidery, so it's... Oh dear. Has a strong odor, sharp but not entirely unpleasant. Wood. Rough. Nothing to mark. Nothing to mark. Gold paint. Oak, if I'm not mistaken. Grave detailing. Sharp aroma. Hard and somewhat rough. Wood. Sharp aroma. Those are all mothers. Green gemstone. Dark wood. You, perhaps. Polished wood. Hard and cool. Rough. Pleasant scent that reminds me of the forest. Green gemstone. Earth and nature. Simone finished reorganizing the Ambleside Library and came to Undermere in search of a new challenge. She took up swimming in the lake after hearing about the health benefits of cold water. Soon found that she preferred the health benefits of a warm blanket, long fire, and a good book. Manages the collections of the Wordsworth Library, following it mother's footsteps, and taking a special interest in occult writings. Relic hunter. Barton Porter. Barton Potter. Intelligent, affable, heroic. These are the words that Barton Potter would use to describe himself. Responsible, impulsive, and foolhardy are some of the more tasteful terms that those who have dealt with him might use. One thing is not in dispute. He knows how to track down objects, and he certainly knows their worth. He's also no coward, and he bears the scars to prove it. He's one of the few who have ventured into the depths of the catacombs and lived to tell the tale. And tell the tale he does, at the slightest provocation. Verona Green. Simone Green. I wonder what the colors indicate. Jim Wolfe. After years of working in thundering mill, I'm afraid I'm quite deaf now. Died St. John's Poppy, but I'm looking for a more permanent solution. I'd love to be able to hear my niece's laughter. Failed Fen. Clouds over after a short period of total darkness. They can be used to command attention from individuals or small groups of people. Public speakers sometimes use them as a substitute for charisma. Clouds over. At camp that night, a pair had awoken with pain in his left eye. He was alert to the threat at once, recognizing two things at the same time. One, a part of his mind was not his own, and two, the casket wanted to be opened. Yeah, left eye. The fucking Potter guy. The maiden in the tower points the way. I am buried among the trees. Alright. Galfrey's Tower. I climbed the narrow, winding stair to the top of the tower and am rewarded with views across Lake Undermere. I'm not alone in the tower. Standing in the center of this circular platform is a statue of a young woman, a maiden. Outstretched arm points due east across the rooftops of Undermere and beyond. Due east. I find what I'm looking for, a small cavity carved into a sturdy oak tree. I look around, half expecting to see someone. There's nobody here. Nobody there. I take my prize and leave, feeling my mood lifted by a smell of damp moss, gentle rush of wind through the treetops. A new totem thing. I walked up the beck a mile or so in the cold and wet yesterday and found a section with an anvil of dead fish floating in it, belly up and blackened they were. Not sure what to make of it, but I don't like it. I'm on my way to Kelgarth Hall now. Spoke to Dr. Robertson earlier, and she said the two women they found there are still in the same state as the others. In a trance and eyes are black. Margot, Anna Bryant asked me to drop this off. When we were kids, we used to explore an abandoned house on a lakefront. We'd take a boat out to the northern tip of Naylor Island and row across from there. You know the one I'm talking about, second from the left in the row of 4. I found myself outside its door 3 days ago, and I went inside for old time's sake. Wish I hadn't. It always had an ominous feel to it. It has taken me the last 3 days to summon the courage to write this letter, but I think it's better you see for yourself what's out there. Yours in faith, Anna Bryant. Naylor off the tip. Roll 4. I don't know exactly what I was expecting to find, and his letter was quite vague after all, but I certainly wasn't prepared for this. In an alcove of the house spearing out through a loose mortar and crumbling brick is a macabre shrine of sorts. The skull of a stag is mounted above the openings, its antlers smeared with a dark red substance, and large melted candles pool out onto wood floor on either side. In the center of the altar, there's a small iron chest rusted and fused to the floor. It's clear that it has been here for a long time. I do not see any hinge or keyhole or any way of opening it at all. I open to the voice. That chest opens to reveal a golden totem. I can't imagine who would have stashed it here, or why, but it doesn't look like they're coming back for it anytime soon. Light pink gemstone. Gold. And smooth. Nothing to mark. Nothing to mark. Moonstone. Comforting Guardian. Yep. I apologize if this Inquisition is position to disposition. It is not my intention to bring to your attention a matter of contention. I have an inclination to perform an incantation of flirtation. For a part a leaden heart of the thermic art. Atlas suggesting his non-human form. Hope you do. Corvin's Might. Something called Eagle's Gift is an assassin's tool that makes use of Wixic power. When Warrior Queen Corvin was surrounded and close to defeat, a gift came to her from an unlikely source. With it, she turned the tide of battle that the legend of the Bloody Queen was born. Black red gemstone. Right. Bloodstone. Angus Eaton. Oh, you're not Eli. Returning an item you asked me to repair. Mechanism was mangled, but I've replaced all the springs and given it a clean. Good as new. Gold. Smooth. On curses, their effect. Dr. F. Robertson. Ooh. Lamb siphon. Curses. Black heart. Heart of the sufferer feels constricted as though it is clamped in a vice. Skin is pale and cold to the touch, and veins stand out darkly on the body. Eventually death will occur. Characterized by necrosis of the flesh, the afflicted will feel no pain, but the scarring has no cure. Breath of Lyra. All those affected appear to be able to breathe normally, they feel as though they are choking. Burning blood. Subject has the sensation of burning from the inside out. It is rarely survived, and those that do never fully recover. Organs insanity, poison of the mind, noctic sight. Those suffering from this curse speak increasingly vivid nightmares. Sapphire curse. Marked by telltale blue tint to the eyes, those under this curse are plagued by aching hallucinations, torments paralysis, affect the mouth and tongue so that speech becomes impossible. I'll keep those in mind. Nothing on anything recent, huh? Wasn't my intention to leave you unattended for this long, but I'm afraid that I'm going to need to rely on you for a little longer. One of the Black Veil seemed more concerned by the ravens than the black-eyed state Mr. Hungerford was found in. They say that it would take a very powerful force indeed to upset them like that. Fortunately, they weren't able or weren't willing to talk any further on the subject. I was hoping to avoid it, but I must go to Oxford and the Bodleian Library. I'll be gone for a few days, at least, perhaps longer, but you seem to be handling yourself well here. Do not see eye to eye with the head of collections at the Bodleian, but I do know that he takes an interest in horticulture. I'll take him a Scythian charm to smooth things over between us.
Planetary metals. Horticulture. Vibrates in wet weather. Diverging hook. It's a way to carve thoughts from the mind of another. If done with skill, the third party may have no realization the thought was ever there at all. But it is all too easy to leave a mind in disarray. Even when approached with care, the unanchored thoughts are easy to lose track of. I have a single gemstone from each of the 3 thalmic branches. Orange, turquoise, pale yellow. Aquamarine, Vedic, Dianic. Wixic. Gold, iron, pitted. I'm at a loss with these patients. They aren't improving to anything I've tried so far, and I haven't been able to find anything in the literature that fits their symptoms. I'm finding that they become violent if they aren't restrained, and they are always trying to leave. If nothing else, Tranthium tea from a restful method might get a moment of lucidity out of them, but if you've got any ideas, I'm all ears. Link to inner mind. Hot tea, Dranthium plant. Type of meadow. Meditative state. Nothing else is working. Wait, you can visit High Green Church? Bones Guard. Small item known as Bones Guard can be placed in any liquid to render it safe to drink. King Cedric of the Meek was well known to be terrified of being poisoned, so always drank from the same goblet that always placed a Bones Guard inside. He was stabbed to death in 1203. These objects bear the mark of the antidote. Just as old and the roof is in need of repairs, so lichen adds splashes of colour to the otherwise gray exterior. Wander round the back of the church where an old yew tree stands. Its gnarled branches scratch gently against faded gravestones in the breeze. Past us strays into a moment of quiet reflection and parts of local lore. The tree is known as the Witch of High Green Church, and there are those that believe it to have unnatural powers. While the tree lives, the witch's finger cut limbs are alleged to provide healing through pain. Church is a quiet refuge from the bustle of town. Bells toll. It's time already. I better get back. Pit. The pit is a scorched black hole, perhaps 5 meters in diameter. That has an unnatural look to it. Rough wooden fence has been erected around it, but has not been maintained in some time. It is broken and collapsed in places. Nothing grows in a wide circle around the gaping chasm. The earth is brown and lifeless. Market Square bustles. Lifestyle holders call out their wares and town criers spread. The latest gossip to eager ears. Few remember it was once a place of witch burnings and executions. Its strange arrangement of rocks, resembling the Stonehenge site, but on a smaller scale, arranged with purpose. But what that purpose was remains a mystery. The locals call it the Eye. There's nothing else to see here. Quarry on the outskirts of Andemir is a relatively recent addition to the town. It was opened by a man named Thomas Pope just over a decade ago and has been a daily operation ever since, supplying limestone for use in construction across the country and beyond. Old Joe stands silent, rusted bars. Curator ushers me away. Eli and I have an agreement. You know you would not to take anything from the museum. The museum guy and Eli have an agreement. Boatyard. Mary Bell. Bleak Stones. Arnamid Church. Jacob's Folly. Lady Rosalind built the folly in memory of her husband. Lost to the lake, so the story goes. Now it stands wind-worn and empty, overlooking the water. I checked the turret, just in case. Nothing but dust and old stones. Love doesn't leave much behind. Alive, the rhythm of the echoes. Sharp blade. Right back where I started. Wanted to try it. Town hall. Hustle and bustle of London. This was a mistake. Oh. Burrows. The top of the hill cluster is a cluster of grassy mounds. The burrows. Whoever is buried in them must have been important in their time. Theatre is in surprisingly good condition given the rather ramshackle state of the rest of the town. I shook my head, remembering that time old Benjamin Marsh stuck a real sword for prop one, accidentally stabbed a poor lady in the front row. Props costumes have no use in my line of work.
He knew what he had to do. Without hesitating, he took hold of the urging hook and used it to cut away the infected part of his mind before it could spread and consume him entirely. It was to sunset, but furthest from sunrise.
Oh, antiquarian. North. Never eat sour watermelon. The view from the tower is quite beautiful, but it's what I find inside that catches my attention. In the middle of the room is an unlocked wooden chest. Within that, not one, but two smaller wooden chests, along with a cryptic scrap of paper.
Dionic seal. Object made from silver. Access a dionic field.
Alright. Probably need something made from silver. Sensation in the back of my skull. Similar memento mori. Purple, wooden bronze detailing, polished. Thunder? Yeah, thunder. Why thunder? Contains thunder? I'm just gonna sort out a little bit. Well, I was fucking around. As if I didn't have enough on my plate right now, my sister Bonnie has been acting strange lately. She never got over the death of our father. She's always blamed Mr. Potter's role in it, and now with all this happening, she's gotten in her head that he's behind it somehow. I'm worried she's going to do something stupid. She comes in here, whatever you do, do not give her anything dangerous. I want to give her a keepsake to let her know that she's still loved. I've seen people gifting one another totems, but I don't know what they're called. Thank you. Just wanted to tell you that Mr. Hungerford has responded well despite the pain he must be in. I put him through the ringer with that witch's finger. I'm hopeful that he will come around soon. Those silly sods at Calgarth Hall wouldn't let me in to look around. It seems I've upset the little lord who lives there at some point in the past. Actually, I refused to perform an exorcism on his haunted house. He didn't like my suggestion that it might be the local kids playing pranks on him because he's a mean old git. Not easily put off, though. Your denim and cloak. I could use this evening. I got some stooping to do. Gemstone, St. Bronze, Moonstone. St. Cedric's Thunder. Let's just saw the power thing. catacombs have been trying to harness this power for centuries. There are rumors that some have indeed successfully used it to transmute base metals to gold. They are placed on top of mountains to charge them. During storms, gemstones can be used to prevent the charge from waning over time.
Bumped Eli at the station stay before he left for Oxford. His train was late, so he had a brief chat. Suddenly emerged something he wanted to tell you. Don't pass on the message. Hello, News. I'll know something about you if you're interested. Won't it cost you, but it's worth it. Map of catacombs. Very rare. Would a lot someone in your line of work, I imagine. I'm asking you to return as a valet.
Is it a sin further into the catacombs? A strange sensation comes over me. It's not fear, though fear is mixed in with it. With cold clarity, I know at once what it is. I've entered an area known as the Depths, a place where you have been and few have returned. Not even Palians can clear the air here and render it safe to breathe, but there's a way. Slight miners inhale the vapors produced by a spirit called a wandering shroud. They say it invigorates their senses. I don't think I have that. There's a sin further into catacombs, strange sensation. Becca Rose. What have you done to me? Wish I'd never come to this shop. I've peeled back the curtain and found a world of darkness and despair. My blind eyes are more open than yours have ever been. The old gods reached out through the tall stones, but we have forgotten their names and their tongue. Something stirs this slumber. They want something from us. I wish I'd never come here, yet I feel more alive than I have in a long time. I will let you know if I see more with the spirit eye. Bunny Robertson. Look, I'm going crazy here. I know who's behind all the madness. All these people with pitch black eyes. Nobody's listening to me. I've seen it happen before. 7 years ago, my father died the same way. Well, since nobody would listen, I'm going to take care of myself. Colvin's might please. Yeah. Accidentally paused the recording, yeah. Glad I wasn't muted. Alright. Spirit Vault, also known as a photo chamber, is a receptacle used to store a wandering shroud. The interior is lined with a paste made of alpha, hence the name. They are not considered dangerous, as shrouds tend to be benign, but on occasion they do not take kindly to being restrained. The vibration of the receptacle can be felt when the shroud is held within. Don't insult me, thaumaturge! This isn't some depression that can be cured with little trinkets. I will get hold of a Corvin's might. As his mind roiled in confusion, he watched through his remaining good eye as his partner lunged towards the satchel that contained the casket. To his horror, he saw that his partner's eyes were black. I squeezed through a partially collapsed passageway and emerged in a small chamber. Glinting in a flickering torchlight, I catch a sight of a pen draped across an old gravestone. Undiscovered. Leathery. Shard of some kind. Most likely. Alright, well, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe, ring that bell, and I'll see you all next time in the vault. Peace.